Cam, you might got millions of dollars, bro. You might have custody of kids, but you ain't being a good father to them all, because being a good father isn't just financially. You have to actually be there to support your kids. You have to have those conversations. You have to spend that quality time. And you're already out of it when I said quality of time. You can't spend enough time with 8 kids from 3 different households. It's just not possible. So that means 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 will be feeling neglect. I don't know if you guys are aware, but this man, Cam Newton, got his feet to the fire from this doctor who also put the feet to the fire to one Nick Cannon. Let's take a listen to what this doctor said to this man, Cam Newton, about being a man who not is just having kids, but is creating broken homes.
See my situation and not think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
See my situation. That's a very vague question, and it's for you
what
to.
What situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning?
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Is can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
by how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
I want to say before we get into the next part of it, that's a terrible, that's awful, because we as men gotta understand what you're doing is you're having kids by all these different women, and you're contributing to the problem that we have with households without fathers. Now, I'm not saying that you're not being a father to your kids financially, but it is impossible to be in the lives of 8 children in 3 different households if that is so. Now, if your kids are with you and you're the father and you have all the kids under your roof, that's still that's good, right? But it's not good, because you don't have just one baby mama, you got 3. So that means that the mothers, or all 3 baby mamas, are out the house, which means that these kids don't have access. They're not living with their mothers. So now you have a motherless house, which is also bad. 2-parent households can't exist with what Cam Newton is doing here. And he's absolutely creating broken homes because of it.
Very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're gonna feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's
Wow.
a huge dysfunction within our Black community.
Facts.
That I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health wise, and community wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men with what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless, but you over here at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will, you'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
I gotta say, she was cooking 100,000%. I agree. We often get on baby mamas, right? We gotta, as men, we don't run from accountability. That's usually a female trait. We look at, because in this world, men are held accountable by default, whether it's for your life, violence, fighting, defending yourself, corporate, your job, court, the law. Men are held accountable innately, bro, from just society. This is part of it, bro. Cam, you might got millions of dollars, bro. You might have custody of kids, but you ain't being a good father to them all, because being a good father isn't just financially. You have to actually be there to support your kids. You have to have those conversations. You have to spend that quality time. And you're already out of it when I said quality of time. You can't spend enough time with 8 kids from 3 different households. It's just not possible. So that means 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 will be feeling neglect, because oftentimes we treat certain children based on how the mother treats us. And we pass that on, and the kid suffers. We tend to do that. Baby mamas keep certain kids from the daddy. Certain people don't. Man, I hate you. You remind me of your daddy. It's the same. Your mama. I hate dealing with your mama. So I'm not even gonna holler at you this weekend. I'm just gonna let you stay with your mama. Now the kid is suffering because of the disdain that you have between you and your mom. So you are creating broken homes. If you have multiple baby mamas, you're creating multiple broken homes, and you are absolutely being selfish. I got 2 kids and it's with 1 woman. I will not have kids with any other woman. That's not going to happen, because that's how I choose to run it. That's how I choose to do it, because I don't want these Cam Newton problems. But that's not it. She hollered at Nick Cannon the same way and let him know what time it is too.
Who gain a sense of self, who's worked on their pain pockets, who's worked on their trauma.
Are still going to be vulnerable.
They're going to be vulnerable.
They're still going to yearn. And late at night when you're sleeping alone, you're going to go, I wish I had a strong man to rub my back.
They're going to be imperfect, but that person would want a strong, healthy, functioning man, not a low-functioning man.
Sometimes some good hands.
Not a low-functioning man, no. That's what I'm saying is the difference. But
every woman, you can't, Doc, you can't sit here and say that.
But you're speaking from your experience, which makes it better.
I'm saying.
Because your experience of these women is that they fall short for a jet and a good meal and a good man who says he goes to church.
And some strong hands.
And let me go further, and probably a big penis. But so, okay,
you said it, not
so
me.
let me go. But again, a high functioning, I'm not even talking about value, a high functioning woman who's done the work.
I'm trying to hear what this high functioning woman is.
But a high functioning woman, you cannot send a jet and be toxic, and she will go on the
She don't know I'm toxic yet.
A high functioning woman wouldn't even attract you, baby. Because it's law of attraction. Stick with me. Just stick with me.
Please explain this high
regulate your
woman.
emotions and stick with me. Regulate your emotions and stick with me.
I'm trying to hear you.
Listen, what is law of attraction? We attract who we are despite who we think we are.
Absolutely.
Think we are.
Absolutely.
Okay. So a high functioning woman is not going to attract by default. by her calibration. She's not attracting a man who is not perfect. The man has got all kinds of mess. So does she. But when it comes to the level of her calibration and functioning and mental health and doing the work, she's going to attract that at which she is, that at what she leads with. So let me say this. Do I get on private jets that I pay for myself? Absolutely. Have I had a man do a wonderful, beautiful things for me? Absolutely. Have I had rocks and this and caught off weddings? Of course. But let me say this. Prior to me doing the work and being a high-functioning woman, I attracted low-functioning men. Hold on.
So you're saying you're a high-functioning woman who attracted low-functioning men? No, it's not what I said. I said prior to me doing the work and becoming a high-functioning woman, my low-functioning self attracted low-functioning men. Hold on. You know why I attracted them? Because I needed low-functioning to feed low-functioning. Okay, hold on. A low-functioning man cannot feed a high-functioning woman, and a low-functioning woman can't feed a high-functioning man. And so what I'm telling you is there is no equally yoked there.
I disagree with that. I don't understand what this laws of attraction mean. I think we need to question what are the laws of attraction and what makes those laws. I think that you're attracted to what you're attracted to, regardless of high functioning. First of all, I don't even know what high functioning and low functioning is. I actually need to do some research on that. What does anybody in the chat know what it means to be a high functioning man or woman? I don't know what high functioning and low functioning is. These terms that people throw out, I'm just really not understanding. A man is going to be attracted to a beautiful woman, regardless of her life being or not. A man will lay with a woman. It could be attracted to a woman physically, and he doesn't know anything about her function, her life. It's simple as that. To be honest with you, if I'm looking at this woman here, a lot of men would find her attractive. We don't know she's a doctor, especially, and even more so if we look at the video with Cam, the way she's dressed with her titties out.
Amazing, Daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But
her boobs are all out, right? All right, so listen, this is kind of, this dress is a lot, right? Look like she's going to the club. I don't know that she's a doctor by looking at her if I see her in the street. I don't know that she has her head on her shoulders the right way. I don't know that. But I do know that she's attractive, right? So a guy would be attracted to her and would want to talk to her, would want to date her, would want to court her, right? Maybe court her. That has nothing to do with your function. So I don't understand these laws of attraction. You attract what you are versus what you say you are. I challenge these laws of attraction. We got to be careful not to be falling into these. Law of attraction, a new thought, spiritual belief that positive thoughts lead to positive experiences, while negative thoughts lead to negative experiences. This theory is based on the idea that people are made of energy that operates at different frequencies, and that like attracts like. The law of attraction was popularized by someone named Rhonda Byrne. A 2004 movie about two New York divorce attorneys end up in a relationship. I guess it was a movie about it. I don't believe this at all. These laws of attractions and energy. I understand energy is a thing, but not in the way that they're saying, oh, our frequencies match up. No, I don't think that is that deep. I really think that she's basically saying if you ain't you're gonna be around ain't. But I know a lot of women, career women, who choose thugs, who choose ain't with no jobs and no prospects because they're attracted to the tough guy, thug, gangster, trap. What does that mean? This is a career woman with a degree and with prospects and with employees, but she's choosing to belittle herself by getting with somebody who doesn't do anything for our society. So that goes against this whole laws of attraction, right? Because there's things that people love about the opposite differences. You know, I remember the term opposites attract. What I am creating, I don't need another to create. I need someone to create the part that I'm not creating so we could fill a hole. I believe in that more than I do of these laws of attraction. Because if you're an outgoing person, high-spoken, outspoken, highly intelligent, Do you want to be with a woman or man who is highly spoken, outspoken, highly intelligent, always the life of the party? Not really. You want someone who is like kind of different than you. If I'm outspoken and out there, I want a woman who's a little bit more reserved and calm, to be able to calm my storm. If she's loving and kind and mellow, I want to be able to bring some life to that so we can bounce off each other. I feel like that is more. So I don't want to lose the sight of what she's saying. I just want to say that she based a lot of her argument against Nick Cannon about these laws of attractions, when I don't think that that's absolutely accurate. But she's absolutely right when she's talking about making these broken homes. The phone lines are open. People could call in and talk to me. Let me know what you guys think that the laws of attraction are. Plus, and is she right? Is Cam Newton and Nick Cannon has 12 kids, by the way. Cam has 8. Regardless about where the kids are, but we know there's a lot of different baby mamas in this situation. You're absolutely creating broken homes. You cannot father children across 3 different women. You can't father children across 2 women. Because you could only have one household outside of, polygamous relationships where everybody, it's outside of that. Somebody's going to be left out. Somebody's going to miss out the weekend. Somebody's going to miss out a month. You can't, that can't work. So us as black men, us as men, we need to be more careful about who we are laying with and having babies with. It's real easy when you're in the sauce and it's feeling good and those heightened levels and you be like, I want you to have my baby. But it'd be real. It'd be really serious after that nut is bust. You got to deal with real life. You need to vet people that you're sexually active with and ask yourself the question: is this somebody that I want to be with for a long time, have a kid with? Because it's possible that it's condom break, or if we do it the way she's always active, I'll be waking up and she's on top of me. That's dangerous. So you got to really think about that type of stuff. So she's absolutely correct. I think that Cam Newton is walking around here, I want more babies. I want more. But that's just more homes you breaking, brother. That's just more damage you doing. That's less love for another kid. That's one less father in the house or one less mom in the house, depending on where the kid is living. I absolutely believe that she was right. That's why you got to be able to understand, even though you don't agree with everything that the messenger is saying, that doesn't mean that some of the stuff that they're saying isn't sound. So I could call out some things that she's saying while understanding the overall message that she's trying to get across is 100% real. We critique ancient women for having babies with ancient dudes. We need to do the same thing with men, regardless of what they are, whether they're ancient or millionaires. You're contributing to the problem of the black community. One of the main problems: fatherless, single parent households. Let's say that. Single parent households. Because a child needs their mother, a child needs their father. And unless they're both there, it's going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and go and get some people on the line. Get up in here and holler at your boy. I'm going to go first with Christian Black, because you said, Chris, that you could tell me the laws of attraction and what high vibration, high functioning is.
So like usually when you hear people talking about high functioning men and high functioning women, what they usually talking about, they not necessarily talking about laws of attraction. What they usually talking about is tax brackets. So like you making a certain amount of money, you gotta be making like $100,000 a year to talk to me. You gotta dress a certain way.
I don't think that's what she's saying, because they are high functioning by that standard.
Well, no. The reason why I say that is because what she said. She said, when I was low functioning, I was talking to low functioning men. So by her saying that, she was talking. You can infer based off of that statement. She wasn't necessarily just talking about it just doesn't necessarily talk about finances. It's also talking about how you dress, how you look, your mental state. It's all encompassing. So it's not just just talking about laws of attraction where that can take a component into it. But usually when you talk about when people mention a a high value man or a high value woman.
Not value. They're saying function. That's why I know the high value, but she said high functioning. It's different. It's not about money.
Well, even when it comes down to high functioning or high value, usually people use those two things and they'll interchange it. So they'll say, "Oh, a high functioning." A person is high functioning. They'll say they're high functioning because they can do all these things. They're for. I'll use a man because I'm a man, not a woman. So a high functioning man is a really good provider. He's a great father. He's a great husband. That they idealized man. Versus with a woman.
John Bapp is onto it as well. Yeah, John Bapp, I agree with the statement that you put in the chat. It's in alignment with what Chris was kind of saying at the end. But just for the recording, you want to go ahead and tell me what you said that high functioning is?
Traditionally, it means like intellectual and high cognitive dissonance and self-awareness. That's what it means traditionally. It's a mental health term, particularly for autism.
Oh, well, yeah. So that's what I looked up on Google. But how does that? I think that has to apply to something different than in relationships, right?
I've never heard that term used for like dating or like the status of a man's preferences and a woman's preferences as far as seeking a potential mate. So it's probably just like when people just make up terms like, "Oh, she's a diva. Oh, she's a boss chick." I guess somebody thought high functioning.
That's what it is.
That's why I think they're interchanging those two of high functioning and high value. They're interchanging those two because my wife is also an ASD teacher. So my wife being an ASD teacher, she uses terms of being like, this person is high functioning. She has a high functioning student in her class versus a lower functioning student in her class.
Someone in the chat says morals is high functioning. Money is high value. Morals, their character, maybe?
I don't think she means high functioning as in autism. She means high value, and they're in essentially what
she
is
can't.
happening.
I hate to cut you off, but she can't mean that because she's talking to millionaires. She said your private jet and all that doesn't matter. She said she's saying Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, you guys are not high functioning.
She's making it strictly based on morality.
She's thinking probably morality is probably where they're going, where she's going,
and probably self-awareness as well.
Maybe self-awareness makes sense. I think it means someone who has their money together and is respectful, honorable. What is a family and taking care of that family? I think, vice versa for women.
If that's what she means, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can argue with whoever said that because. Again, this is kind of all over the place.
It is.
And I agree with what he says about athletes being high value and low functioning. A lot of athletes are low functioning. If you're thinking about, I guess, the total package of what a man should be, is that what high functioning is?
Yeah, like that's what I was mentioning before.
Your functions as a man are operating at a high level.
I'm thinking maybe it's moral self-awareness. It's like, how do you yourself? What are you looking for?
Knowing right from wrong and the way life should be. What do you guys think about what she's saying, though? Black men having multiple baby mamas is bad.
I don't disagree.
Having multiple baby mamas.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
My only problem is who she's speaking to.
She's speaking to black men.
But she's speaking to Nick Cannon and Cam Newton.
Right.
Wealthy black men.
Wealthy, exactly. Whereas I think if I look at the other they got baby mamas. They ain't wealthy. They're the worst of the society. It often ain't the best pick. And so it then comes at the context of, is she talking about the small minority where, guess what? I guess women are feeding at these individuals and saying that, guess what? You can't take the out of them. So I don't know what she's really trying to push. Exactly. Though I think it's more.
I mean, what does it matter if they have money or not when they're both coming from broken homes? I mean, having money helps, but as far as like who you are in your soul and your heart, you're being raised with one parent. It's still not good.
Well, I'm gonna use my own anecdotal experiences going to private school, but I know some individuals who turn out horrible, and I also know other individuals who turn out tremendous, and they didn't have their father in the household because he was working all the damn time. My father was similar, though he didn't have that lifestyle of money, but he would only see his dad for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for like 4 hours, and then the rest of the days, my dad's 66. So this constant being in the home and with men, it's relatively actually new, because hearing some of the older stories from my father and then got a book from my great grandfather, they didn't have their fathers in the house either because they was working so damn much.
But generally, Lottie, like statistics show that a child.
Yeah, two-parent. Yeah, we know that that's the ticket of success. But the problem is that when you start holding this one little part of society or one little part of people, as in baby daddies who have different children by different mothers, it's a small demographic, and then it gets smaller with that.
No, that's not a small demographic, Lottie. Single parents in the black community is a huge part. Is a huge problem.
Yeah, it's huge.
These are luminaries.
Hold up. Let me make this. I gotta just be specific on it.
Okay.
Single black men with children that have different baby mothers. Now that's a minority. Okay.
But it's the same effect. It's still a one-parent household.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna sit there and say it don't have no effects. But
remember,
my only gripe is.
Wait, are you saying that there's a better chance of life, or it's a better case if the child grows up with one parent than the other?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right, so it's still the same big, large problem then.
We just have problems in general, and I think the main problem that we have in general is that we remixing a lot of shit. Like we don't stay on code for a lot. We stay on code for the wrong things, man, rather than stay on code for the right things.
Right.
And so when we sit,
I agree.
And so we then turned it around and said, what's wrong is right, and what's right is wrong. And then you starting to see the things that we see now.
And what you even say on code is broken. The laws of black culture are broken.
There you go. They're broken as.
So yeah.
And so we gotta fix the culture if we want to start from somewhere.
Right.
But
so
here's the problem. We don't want to speak about the culture.
We start with the luminaries of that culture.
Shame. So I think we need to reintroduce shame to the black folk. When you have a child out of wedlock or you ain't got the father in the house, you be shamed by society instead of uplifted.
I mean, but it's hard to shame something but it's hard to shame something that's glorified in
that's what I'm saying.
Your music and in entertainment and stuff.
Yes.
But see, that's why
that's a problem with us.
That's why I appreciate with this doctor. I don't even know her name, but she's approaching these wealthy men in a I don't want to say diplomatic way, but it's not accusatory. It's not, you're garbage. You're trash. Like she's creating a dialogue to make them self-aware of how this behavior affects space.
This is trash, my nigga.
Please don't.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You're here to ruin another topic. Here he comes to ruin another topic with his terrible opinions. You're going to come in here and ruin this topic because you got nothing.
Let me cook. Go check your Discord, bro. And go check what I sent you, bro.
Why hasn't it worked?
Hold on.
Because you've been talking about accountability. You've been talking about high functioning, and you literally told me in my situation, because of the type of high functioning and low functioning people I'm choosing.
Yep.
Why hasn't it worked for you?
For the first few, I was low functioning, and I was still in my healing journey. And so I law of attracted low functioning.
That happened all four or just the first?
The first, I would say like the first 2 or 3. Definitely low functioning of myself.
How were you low functioning that found things that where you thought this was your match, this was your person, and then it still didn't go through because you were low function?
I take accountability. It was my fault because I knew all of them were not my person. And so this is why I say it's not their fault, because these men wasn't no infidelity. They weren't beating on me. I attract good men, but I wasn't in the space of being ready to marry them. But I needed them to be good for me, Nick, because I needed something good to be reflected on me for my healing journey.
Okay, we just listened to what she says here, Qui-Gon. She's basically saying she wasn't shit, and she now is ready for some. I mean, what?
I mean, that's too late, girl.
This is what I got out of that, bro. Because I'm looking like, all right, let me look this woman up. Because she talking. We know about Cam Newton. We know about Nick Cannon. Let's look up this person that's talking, right?
Yeah.
In that video, I had to dissect that shit because women are smart with words. And I listened to that shit like 3 times, bro. And I was trying to get what the fuck she was talking about when she was talking about the low functioning and why she's low functioning. What that woman did, in her words, manipulate her words and said the low functioning, the reason why she was at her low functioning, like they started off with, you almost had it 4 times. married. And she said, I was at a low function, so I attracted low function. But it's not it. But that part is totally trash to me, because you are not taking accountability to me, because you're putting it on you attracted low.
I know what he's saying.
Wait,
she said that she was low functioning.
No, she's putting it on them.
She's putting it on them. She's
I see
projecting her
do
own
that
insecurities and pushing her past on them.
No. She
That's
said
what
low
that's what
functioning attracts low functioning. So she's admitting she was low functioning.
Yes.
How is that trash?
She's saying
How is
that I
that trash?
attracted low functioning individuals. Making
I don't know.
Because she was low functioning.
No, and
I don't agree with
contributing that with Cam Newton and Nick Cannon.
What if that man?
Where do you?
What if that
Where does
man?
your opinion stand from on an academic or on a psychology level, with understanding she's a therapist, speaking from a psychological standpoint?
It sounds to me like she is acknowledging that she messed up.
No, I agree.
What she's doing is she's acknowledging let me put it this way, from a psych term, the variable aspect that anybody can be low functioning at a certain time and point in their life where they don't know that they could be low functioning or
4 times.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
With a husband, 4 husbands. So you're gonna say you had 4 low attract. You saying you're gonna have 4 low attracting husbands that you could have got with, and you're gonna put it on them that I attracted low, so they was low. I don't agree with that.
But how could you not agree from that? She's clearly stating.
What are you not getting? I don't understand.
What if that man that you got with was actually a good man?
Did you not hear what
she said? That she was with good men, but she couldn't identify them as good men to the point where she wanted to be with them.
She explained at that moment that yes, she was attracted to the money and the nice cars and getting flown out on trips. But that's the differentiation between high value, which is a status or a status that you have, versus the moral grounding and the understanding of what high function is. I did a project years ago when I was in university. I'm a psych major. I have a psych degree, and so this is something that we had to differentiate between how the mind works versus how a person's ability to work in their everyday life works. You know how many athletes are high value but low function? I can explain this through many athletes who can make a lot of money doing a specific job or skill that they were benefited and built with talent with. But when it comes to making moral, sound judgment about specific issues in their life, whether they've dealt with their trauma, their childhood issues, some of their adult things that they put into their life, they're functioning, or as some would say, low vibration, at a level where they cannot make moral, sound character judgment calls, versus the status of I'm an athlete, I can play this sport, or I'm good at this specific thing that makes me a lot of money. Making a lot of money and having a high value does not make you a good person. How many people do we know in this world that have so much money but are absolutely disgusting human beings? That is the difference between functioning at a level versus being a high value at a level, right? When you're low functioning, you can have millions of dollars and 7 baby mamas. Tyreek Hill has like 9 of them.
You got 9 of them.
He's the fastest NFL athlete. He's the best receiver in the world right now. Kobe Bryant, which I love, and I have a tattoo in works of him, he made a unsound judgment when he did what he did and cheated on his wife. There's Tiger Woods. Many of the world's greatest athletes have made a low functioning choice. Per se, Nick Cannon. How many baby mamas does he have? He makes a lot of money. He created Wild 'N Out.
He personally selects his baby mamas. That's the difference.
What do you mean he selects his baby mamas? That's
he has a whole thing on it.
That's wild.
That's an ignorant statement in itself.
Yeah, that's wild. Select a baby mama means he's choosing to be dumb and weird. Like, that's crazy.
No,
I think he's putting his cock in bad and they're getting pregnant. That's what's happening. Let's all watch this together. They were talking about this on Joe Budden's podcast about the parents in the household and all that.
I understand what you're saying, Ice, by saying that just because there's 2 parents in the household doesn't necessarily mean that it's a healthy household for a child. Mm-hmm. But her purpose of talking to Nick and talking to Cam was to say, he acted very cavalier and very blasé about, I'm not really actively pursuing anything, like marriage is like whatever, da-da-da. She was like, no, you're very active and you're very intentional about the things that you want to do that you think don't hold like a consequence. But it does hold a consequence regardless of what you think. you're knowingly making broken household by having a very non-committal relationship or attitude towards the women that you're creating a lifelong situation with. So it's just funny to be afraid of marriage, but not afraid of like the lifelong commitment of having a child. Just because they age out doesn't mean that they stop being your child. They'll always be a responsibility to you because you're their parent.
Is it possible that there's also a side of it where, let's just say you do have multiple kids in different households, but at some point you do actually have a kid in your own household, or you start a healthy relationship with that person? Don't you think naturally there's going to be some kind of like disconnect with the other kids because naturally you're just going to have a better relationship with that kid in the household? So that can also be a negative thing in a certain ways. Like I've seen older brother didn't live in the household. He would come around and he would have dissension with the other kids that were in the household because he didn't get the benefits of the things that dad and mom were doing together. It's like, in that situation, I see that can be probably the most negative thing in that.
I think that's a parental thing. I think the blame in that is on the parents.
But I think it's almost natural to show that kid that's in the household more love and attention than
we see it all the time. He's right.
I think that if both parents are willingly making a concerted effort to have both parents involved in their lives, like I dated a girl one time.
That's cap.
And her mother and father got a divorce. Her mother remarried, her father remarried. She damn near had 4 parents. They would be at all the family fun, like the Memorial Day, all of that. They all doing electric slide together. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, your
Where
mother
was she
and father.
living though?
My mother and father wasn't watching.
No, your mother and father. Like Jackie comes to the functions with your mother there. Your mother will bring her friend. You get what I'm saying? Like it don't be the goofy.
But that's not what I'm really speaking of.
He's saying that.
I understand what he's saying. So I'm saying that if all of the parents are on board, the parent or the child that is displaced out of the household can spend as much time over there as, you know what I'm saying, to get all of the same. Not, it won't be the exact same.
I don't know if what either of y'all are talking about is what they was talking about.
Yeah, so Joe wasn't paying much attention because that absolutely is tied to what I said. If you have baby mamas in other households, how can you be giving those kids as much time as the ones you're giving who live in your house? So obviously the other kids who are outside the house are going to be neglected. We're talking about neglect. You cannot spend an equal amount of time with 8 or 12 kids. Some kids are going to be left to the side. Some are favorites. Some are not. Some are nicer because the baby mama's nicer, easier to get along with. That's just how it works, man. If one baby mama if I'm cool with a baby mama and we could even laugh and vibe and go to the movies, I'm going to be around her kids that we share more than the one who gives me a hard time and stresses me out. That's just how human life works. So yes, it is bad, bro, because some of the kids are going to grow up less loved in the house. So what do you guys think about that situation? You guys understand how this could really hurt our kids by not, and plus the fact that this motherfucker Cam Newton said I want more kids no matter who is with, like that's just crazy.
I just don't know what his I don't know what his looks like.
I'm gonna be honest.
If I had understanding what it looked like, then maybe I would be able to criticize it harshly, but I just don't know.
I'm gonna keep it a whole thousand, Jody. That junk got to be a mental illness.
That's how he behaved.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not. That's how he behaves.
No, it's not necessarily a mental illness. You just function when you slow function for so long and it works. Like she said, survival. When you live in survival, that becomes your norm. You think that's your baseline of life, versus
You're right, Nada. Yeah.
Exceeding that. You know,
I'm saying that's how he came across. I'm not saying he does have a mental illness, but he came across like aloof.
Very idiot, very delusional.
That's just ignorance, bro. That is our culture for you. We promote baby mamas and baby daddies. We rap about it. We talk about it. We joke about it. We make social media posts about it. We laugh about it, but we don't really take it seriously, and we don't put shame about it. That's the problem. There's no shame. I know white folks, they still get shamed. Baby daddy, there's shame thrown there. Not married.
Then they come over to this side and they get glorified.
Asians, there's shame thrown there still to this day. Not us. It's accountability here. This isn't a black woman hate. No, we shed light on what's right and what's wrong.
Shit too, bro.
I mean, what do you mean? She has taken accountability for her. That's what she's saying.
I'm shooting a message. I am admitting that I'm shooting a messenger. I am admitting that.
The way you walk through life is trash. There you go, bringing your garbage opinions.
She's 41
with no
years old and
foundation
still,
and no substance.
still single. Get out of here, bro.
Maybe that's a good thing that she's still single because she ain't ready for no man.
Maybe
probably.
It's a good thing. Shit.
Maybe it's a good thing. Some of these hoes need to be single.